All right. Welcome to TBD Podcast, where art and media seem to be determined by culture and vice versa. Here on TBD, we have conversations in how popular media, whether it be memes, art, or music, and how it is reflective of what's going on around us. I'm Renzo.
I'm Alana.
And today we're going to be talking about the Sheesh trend that's been going on around.
Yeah, I'm not like okay, I am excited, but TikTok is like one of those things that there are always new trends coming out, like constantly.
And I think that's what makes our podcast very difficult too, just before we get into it. Like, because there's so many trends going on, it's hard to keep up. And once we find one, I like, I feel like a lot of the younger generations treat me as like and call me out as a boomer. I got called a boomer at work today with my younger coworkers, and and like they were calling me out for being behind the trends and not knowing certain things. And so yeah, so it's kind of hard to keep up with all these trends.
Wait, you can't just skip past that. How younger are your coworkers to be calling you a boomer?
They're not even they're like in high school. Well, like one is like a senior in high school and the other one is like a freshman in college. And I'm over here like, bruh, maybe I'm just like old in spirit, and I've felt that even before. But like, yeah, they said something, and I don't even remember it right now. But yeah, I felt super old.
This is probably like
All
a
right.
dumb question, but what generation would we be considered?
I like to consider myself as a zillennial, so a mixture of both a Gen Z and a millennial.
Oh boy.
You
Oh
know,
boy. Oh my
because
god.
like old enough to be, at least for me, I'm old enough to be aware for all the 90s trends, but like not old enough to actively participate in it. But at the same time, I grew up with a brick phone. Like I remember having a phone with Snake on it. And granted, like I know we get like other people who grew up with no phone and just dial. Like I even had an opportunity to have dial up internet. I don't even know if you know about dial up internet. Do you know about dial up internet?
Yeah, I'm not. Oh, okay. I'm not
Okay.
that young.
Yeah, well, you can't use the landline and use the internet at the same time because, yeah. Well, anyways, I feel like we just dated ourselves.
Yeah,
Sheesh!
I'm looking it up now, and it's like it's saying that Gen millennials are probably like born 1981 to 1996, and anything after like Gen Z is like 1997 to 2012. So
And I'm born 1996, like the end of it. So, like,
for
I'm
real?
literally, yeah, I was born in September 1996. So I'm literally in the middle. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, I'm a zillennial.
No, you're either.
I'm valid. I know what I'm talking about. My TikTok For You page told me about it, so I know it's true.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go with your coworkers on this one.
For you know? Speaking of TikTok, let's transition into these videos, shall we?
Yeah.
Let me share my screen real quick. Go live. All right. And so this first one, not this one is just going to explain a little bit about the trend.
On the side of your arm with your index and middle fingers, as if checking your blood pressure and discovering you're cold-blooded. The phrase is most commonly used in basketball, going back at least a decade to describe players who thrive under pressure. In 2016, the Lakers player D'Angelo Russell scored 39 points against the Nets, turning the game around in the last quarter. To celebrate, he rested his finger on his arm and said ice, as if feeling the ice rushing through his veins. In February 2021, a trend set to the song Hayloft saw TikTokers use the pose to represent cold-blooded moments. At the same time, the pose was featured in numerous Sheesh videos as a show of pride. Without context, many were confused about the pose. wrongly assuming its origins, and generally wondering what it could mean. Ice in
Exactly.
My Veins is the ultimate show of cold-bloodedness on TikTok, and we must never forget that we owe it to D'Angelo Russell.
In the basketball scene. It really do sound like a call in the wild, like some type of mating call. And then this one, let's.
Hey Tommy, let me get that fit check.
People are so creative. So good.
Hey Tommy, let me get that fit.
Yeah, this one is the original one.
Hey Tommy, let me get that fit check. Hey Tommy.
And then this last one.
in school, you're on the vibe, yeah, bustin' bustin'. Yes.
All right. I don't even know what to say.
How did you
Is
first
there
like?
anyone in particular you want to watch it?
I have no clue. How did you first come across like this trend? Did it just show up on your For You page?
Yeah, it definitely did. I don't even remember. I think it just randomly popped up, and I think just like with any trend, it comes out of nowhere. Like earlier, we were talking about like what things in your middle school life happened, and I was saying like in, in my class we used to say like say that on everything, like yo I got the burritos, say that, or like yo did you get the answer for number 12, and then they answer like oh yeah it's 14, and they go say that. You guys never said that?
No, no. Literally, people. I didn't do anything crazy. Okay, that's a lie. There was it wasn't a trend. It was just like a lot of my classmates would go around punching each other and just I forget what they would say, but you would like punch somebody and say something and then like run away, and I'm like, but that's not that shouldn't be a trend to just punch people.
And also, so we were talking about the difference between Gen Z and millennials, and this is just kind of a side note. But like, I don't want to claim Gen Z because they're the generation that ate Tide Pods. And let's be real, you said you would just hit each other and run away. Like, what does that accomplish?
Literally, I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and like. I'm not gonna. No, I have no clue.
But I guess in terms of relating, let me stop sharing real quick. We could just see ourselves. I guess in terms of what's going on in media, I guess this is very relevant. One, it's like a trend that I feel like middle schoolers picked up on, and it's like their thing to say right now. It's definitely very uniting. I think a little bit of positivity can come out is really good, especially during these times. Like even in the beginning when it explained about how the basketball player just used it, saying like he's great under pressure, like he got ice in his veins, and that being kind of a staple of what's going on right now. Like in any situation, whatever pressures that may be, we could celebrate and be like, I got ice in my veins, like I did that. But yeah, like definitely a great thing to unite people, as stupid as a trend it can be. But yeah.
No. I think the thing with like trends like these is that people start using like when they like change the audio and make it into like a compilation of audios,
Mm-hmm.
and then they start using it. They start using it to like make their trauma comedic in the
Mm,
sense that like I
it's
don't know how
a
to
way to
explain
cope.
it. Yeah, it's like a
It's
way for
definitely a
people.
coping for sure.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few where it's like I don't know. They like say sheesh, and it's like, oh, this has happened in my childhood, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's not sheesh.
like,
That's jeez. Oh
I
my.
love it. I think I'm talking about this one where it's like it really. I can tell that you didn't grow up getting hit with a belt, and then it's like, shit, it's not supposed to be funny, but hey,
And I think that's what's so interesting. Like people use it for. I mean, everyone's uses it in their own way, but like one half is like spreading positivity, like, oh, I'm great under pressure, I got this. And then the other half is not
yeah,
like so negative, but it's like self-deprecating humor that like others
yes,
relate to.
yes, for sure. And I don't have any examples of it that I have readily, but I agree. And then the other half of it, in terms of the positivity, like that guy that we just saw with the hey yo fit check, and then they do the freaking harmony on the sheesh, like that takes it to a whole nother level of creativity. Also, like who thinks of that? I kind of want to watch it again if you're down.
Yeah.
Fit check.
Wait, hold on.
Sheesh.
Wait, let me move forward and back.
Hey Tommy, let me get that fit check. Hey Tommy.
Also, in the media standpoint, like it also adds in that layer of virality, right? Like because this is a trend. Like with this example, this guy Aaron C. That's like he's a guy that makes music, and he's leveraging this trend to be able to kind of show the world like, hey, I'm a singer, I could do this. And I feel like his TikTok doing this aspect of this trend was one of the first ones. And so like from then on, at least for me, he was the first one that I saw. From then on, I saw more people who do like who's kind of taken this trend that's seen as annoying to be more something like people could get behind.
Yeah. I don't know. Are you the type of person that like likes trends? Like,
I'm very resistant to it because like, and I'm gonna get chewed out for this in the comments. Like, I don't want to admit wanting to be a hipster, but like I try to be, which is like the most unhipster thing to do. But yeah, I sound hella pretentious, but I try not to be on the trends, but because it's trendy, like you can't escape it. But at the same time, I'm also one of those people who hop on the trend ironically, but not ironically. I feel like I'm digging myself a deeper hole, but it is what it is, people. That is how it is. I'm sorry if that just made me uncool. It is what it
it's
is.
fine. I get it.
I don't even know how this can relate to architecture. I know that that's the perspective I'm supposed to be bringing into the table, but I don't know, man. Maybe nothing has to relate to architecture, specifically this one. I mean, it could relate to it in terms of trends, how trends in architecture come and go. Like, I feel like the modernist, minimalist trend is happening right now, and I feel like even like the mid-century type of furniture, those furniture with the little legs, you know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you've seen them, but like everybody's and their moms have it in their apartments,
Yeah.
and that's like the kind of decoration that they want, and it's nice. Don't get me wrong, but like it wasn't nice before, and it probably wouldn't be nice later on. Like there's always going to be a next thing. And one of the concepts I brought up before was like aging in place in terms of buildings. I said I didn't know how to connect this to architecture, and here I am. One of the concepts I brought up before was aging in place and how buildings, because they're more permanent structures, they last for a longer time in comparison to most other things. Like the idea of how long it can stay and stay relevant in where it's built. Um,
What the fuck just happened?
I don't know. They just disappeared. But what I was saying, like aging in place and how buildings stay in one place, and paralleling that to how trends can stay or not stay in one place. Like think about Charlie Bit My Finger. I feel like it was one of the most viral videos that popped up like years and years ago, and it's still, I feel like it's still relevant. People younger than us still know about that video, like Charlie Bit Me. And
Charlie.
yeah, and so the idea of something becoming permanent, or I guess accepting things not to be permanent, is also a very human thing to do. I don't know how it all kind of accumulates to
Yeah.
one thing, but yeah.
I think based on Jesus. I think based on what you said, I have kind of two things. The first, what you
Mm-hmm.
said about there's always going to be kind of something new. A lot of the new, and I say that in quotes because a lot of the new stuff that is popular is stuff that was popular in like years ago, and it's just coming back up
Exactly.
as vintage stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'll let you go and then I'll add my thing. But
yeah,
yes.
yeah. It's not really like new stuff. It's just like it's being renewed in the sense like, oh, now let's make it even more trendy. Like things like first off, clothing, fashion, music audio options that TikTokers use, and just stuff like that. It's just a lot of like, it's not really new. It's just it may be new to younger people.
I've been I've been seeing on my For You page like vintage videos of high school, and it was like kids who graduated in like 2007, and I'm over here like, I mean, granted 2007 I was in middle school, but that wasn't too far from me being in high school. But then kids nowadays look at that as vintage, and it makes me feel super old. Like to me, vintage is like the 80s or the 70s kind of thing. I guess we're the 80s to them now.
Yeah, that's so
Like,
weird. Like,
not even like, I graduated 2015. It's only 2021. How long ago was that? Like
yeah,
6 years ago. That's not even a decade ago. That's not vintage.
same. And it's like usually people bring up like, oh, remember this like cartoon? And it's not the cartoon's not even that old. It's like it was like made in 1999, and
Like, what do you mean remember? Yes, I remember. I was there. Although, to go back to the that one video also of those basketball players being in one group, I had this personal experience. We were in Rutgers campus in New Brunswick getting some ice cream. I forgot where, but in New Brunswick they have those scooters that you could rent out and whatever. And there's this group of dudes just like scootering down this hill because it was on a hill, and one person goes shit, and then all of a sudden you hear shit, and I don't know, like just how loud it was and how many, because we weren't the only ones online for that ice cream. There was also a bunch of other kids online for the ice cream. Like, man, like trends really do be like taking over sometimes. Like it's that like powerful in terms of shaping culture today.
Yeah. And I think it's something that trends are something, and I'm just talking specifically trends in like social media. Trends in social media
Mhm.
kind of help build the meme culture and make more memes, like even if it's out of audio, poses, just stuff
Mhm.
like that. And it's so interesting. So interesting. I feel like now because, for example, Vine is gone. Oh, now that
Yeah.
Vine is gone, that's like, oh my God, remember that one Vine, like free Shavakadu or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, and now it's like to that point where it's like, oh my God, have you seen that TikTok that it's like, remember? And it's like, remember, the app is still here. Remember?
Yeah. That trend happened last week. It's not a year
Yeah.
ago.
It's kind of like the same in that sense. I don't know.
Yeah. No, let's be real though. Like we just talked about the Bernie meme, and it's irrelevant now.
Yeah.
That was just January. It's only April. That's
Hmm.
4 months. Like, where did Bernie go? He's still here. Donde está Bernie?
No sé. Se acabó. Like,
Hey, he's still here, bro. But I guess not anymore.
yeah. It's just so crazy how trends are so timely. They're so
Yeah.
timely. And like there's certain videos for example from Vine that are timeless, but
Hmm.
it's still like
Like road work ahead.
memorabilia. Yeah, it's still like memories. It's not gonna be relevant to you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be relevant, I guess.
Yeah, I like that one though. Road work ahead. I hope we
I'm
do.
sure. Yeah, I hope so.
Oh man. And I think I love our podcast and how it brings about like what we talk about because I mean just like anything that we talk about now, like addressing the fact that things aren't permanent, and it also addresses like what American culture values. I feel like it's very much American culture, at least from my understanding, like how, or maybe it's internet culture where everything is like um instant gratification, and how like we're always on to the next one, and how that bleeds into every other aspect that we may have. I know for me, like even with school, right, just wanting to get it over with and working, like going on to the next one. And in a way, because internet culture and meme culture and information culture has kind of seeped into how we receive the things that we feel like we should be receiving in our lives, which is like instantly and kind of momentarily, that like working hard for things um seem like it's not an important thing to do, or it shouldn't be this hard. At least that's the message I'm getting from these memes, because it's so easy to be viral for just doing something. In a way, it's dumb. Like saying sheesh is so dumb, but like everybody doing it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I also think it's like what you said, like just the I kind of do think it's like the internet culture and like the instant gratification. And I feel like that kind of all started with like the consumerism and, wanting more and being materialistic. And I feel like I'm just talking generally. I don't think like younger people are as materialistic, but I feel like it's more like the popularity and the followers and the fame and wanting to be an influencer, and that information and that data is material to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah. I would argue that is materialism, though.
yeah, but I feel like it's not material like physically. It's more like
Mm,
the the effect of becoming famous, becoming popular, and becoming like an influencer.
Yeah, I think I would have to disagree in saying that it is still pretty physical. Maybe we're saying, I think we're definitely saying the same thing. And we definitely agree, but I guess just the wording is different. But yeah, like, because let's be real, like Bitcoin is currency, and it's not something tangible, but it's wealth.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's it's something you can have, um, but like it's not real. So in a sense, that's like basically we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah, and it's crazy because like I remember having this conversation with in a at the end of one of my classes last semester with my classmates and one of the professors. I'm not gonna give names out, but but they we were talking about the definition of success and how that has kind of changed and I guess like because I feel like I don't know I feel like it's so like people in our 20s like we're in our 20s already and like I feel like for me personally it's I'm always so hard on myself like why am I not successful by this age because a lot of people that are considered influencers or celebrities or whatever are that age or younger
Mhm.
and so it's like it's hard not to compare yourself like oh damn I'm 22 and I haven't done half the shit that this person has done and I don't know I just it's like
Uh,
crazy.
yeah, and it, like again, talking about like social media and the computer age and being able to access things, like because we have access to being able to see into people's lives in that way, it's easy. Like for me, something that I've done, and before we started this podcast, I remember I told you like I took a fast from social media. Like I was like, hey, like I don't know how I'm gonna do with this project and talking about media as they come because like I'm not too involved with my social media. But that was like a break that I really needed to have from social media because it was easy to just think about um, what other people are doing and feel like that could be me. And even like I'm thinking about sports, how the people playing in sports like basketball and my friend who's into hockey, like he was telling me that the youngest dude is like 18 or whatever, and I'm just like I'm over here like bro, like I'm 24 and I'm not getting paid big bucks like that. I was still trying to figure things out. And so yeah, like social media definitely impacts that way, and yeah, in terms of comparing yourself to other people who's just basically doing what they've been doing, and the parts that we don't see is like the hard work behind it all
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. um I kind of forget how we got here from trends but
Me too.
no but I think that it's trends are fun to do. I mean, I'm not gonna say all trends are like, yeah, all the time, because there's some trends that are like, damn, why did we start doing this in the first place? But no, some trends are fun, and to see the community around that is sometimes like, worth it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. If anybody in the comments want to share their opinions about like how social media is affecting people, and if you're team millennial or team Gen Z, or you're also a
No
zillennial,
teams. We're no teams. Wait, what is the big
fine,
debate
no
on that?
teams,
What is the
still
big debate?
represent
I've seen a lot of
about being.
yeah, millennial versus like Gen Z on TikTok.
I've been having quite some conversations about this too. So like millennials, they are the generation that I don't want to misspeak, but like have seen bad things happen, and they're a bunch of them are advocates. So like because 9/11 happened, and then wanting to do differently than their parents. But then Gen Z takes that to the next level where they're very much like all about activism and they're willing to die for it, pretty much. And I guess that's the shift in difference. That's one of the shifts in difference. Um, my favorite one of a difference is like about the COVID vaccines, and we'll probably talk about this for the next one too. But like, um, Gen Z would like not really post it on TikTok, but like they would swing their arms to like lessen the pain.
Yeah. That's how
Yes,
my mom
yes,
did that
I
when she got hers.
we did that. And then millennials like share their like little cards on social media, like got vaccinated. I guess just little things like that. I'll have to go look into it again, but I get videos about it on my For You page. I think it's hilarious.
I've seen some, but not even like the vaccine. It's more like fashion, and it's more millennial women versus Gen Z women, and the fact like you part your
Yes,
hair
about the skinny jeans.
on the side part. Oh my god! And I'm like, damn, what the fuck?
Yes.
Like, what's wrong with the side part?
Mine was the skinny jeans
Yeah, yeah.
versus baggy jeans. Oh man, that was a whole. All right, everybody. So like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you guys think about anything that we've talked about. If you have any other things to share, maybe start a forum down there. Who knows?
Yeah,
But
and comment some
keep us
trends that
updated.
you like. Yeah, comment some trends that you like
Yes.
or don't like.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Sheesh.